You told me about something you have done for the employees to kind of keep them going while things are hard, something that they can watch and feel some investment in.
So, well, you know, we have a garden. Nothing big, just.
I've seen it. You got tomatoes? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you get caught stealing nothing.
They're not big enough yet.
At first, when I first said something about it, it was like, man, I don't know. We might get in trouble. And I was like, well, if it's we, then me. It's me. Because this is something that, look, I'm from Hanover County. We raise the best tomatoes in the world. So, I just said, just a small area, 10 by 12. I call it a hope garden.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I call a hope garden. Hope everything comes up, like it's supposed to. But having that, and the intent is to watch something grow. When you watch something grow, whether it be a baby chick or seed, it's inspiration. Mm-hmm. Just like this COVID thing. Yeah. We are all watching something grow, people coming together. See, again, from the heart.
That's right. I said, who would think of a garden at a landfill?
Me.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's me.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's
because
cool.
just look, man. It's a dump, but it don't have to be a pigsty. Yeah. Well, I take pride in that.
That's right.
Yeah, I do.
Well,
go ahead.
No, and I you know it more than I do. I mean, the interaction that a citizen has at the landfill. A number of years ago, we had some complaints that came forward where people or our employees were saying, you know what, you can't bring this in, or, that is this, that's that. I have seen, this operation change probably more than any other. And it matters the most because, believe it, during this COVID-19 crisis, what most calls that this county manager has gotten involved? The landfill. And you've seen them.
Yes, in the call center, actually.
In the call center.
Right.
Yeah, in the call center. So the way that you all are dealing with the public has been, it's been incredible. And you are facing some significant challenges because we have to abide, or had to abide, by this gubernatorial order that said you can't have more than 10 people in a confined space. And so think about that on a Saturday afternoon at Springfield. It just doesn't work.
People moving your cones.
Oh,
they're
right.
telling you what they,
So, but again, one of the stories that I'll take away from is how you all dealt with people that are coming in angry, on fire, and they're leaving with selfies.
Yeah.
That's hard.
You creating that garden to help people that you work with have something positive to focus on, so they can just step aside and breathe for a moment, so that then they can step back and be with those customers, right? Is so deeply powerful. And Tretina, you working over James River, so you're working at James River Juvenile Detention Center. You're also right there on the front lines, just like Rick, interacting with folks every day. And you've got employees also who are scared and who are dealing with this in their own lives. So share more about what you've been involved in to help those folks through.
We have an employee programs committee, so anybody can make suggestions to this committee. So I went to Mr. Stevens and Mr. Martin, and I said, well, I think maybe we could do a staff pantry here. What do you guys think? And they were like, oh, that's a great idea. Okay. So I sent the email, and everybody on the committee was like, yeah, let's do it, And so then I went home that day, and I was like, okay, a staff pantry, how do we do this, But thinking about the fact that people have their kids home from school now, even though that's your responsibility to feed your kids, a lot of kids were eating breakfast at school. They were eating lunches at school. And so, that's another expense that's added to families. Some of the staff, like myself, were furloughed from other localities from our part-time jobs. And I didn't work a lot of hours anyway, so it's not really that I'm missing anything, but I don't know what they're missing. They could be missing a whole lot that goes into their family. And so I went to my friend Cindy and I said, I gave the suggestion today about this staff pantry, and I have no clue about how to set up a staff pantry. So she gave me food and other friends, and by the time, it was time to set up this pantry, we had so many donations. And I'm like, oh my God, I took pictures of the back of my truck and the front of my truck. I had to take my SUV, which is a Dodge Durango. It was full of donations from friends and families and from Felicia with the pantry. So I talked to my coworkers who were also on the committee. I said, look, I'm going to need help arranging this pantry in the training room. So we cleaned out the cabinets and set up the pantry. And we have some rules. You have to be courteous. You donate when you can. There's absolutely no judgment. If you need something, you go and get it. Nobody's going to ask questions. Nobody's regulating it. And just donate if you can. If you can't, that's fine too. The thing is, hard times come, and right now I think that this is a time that nobody expected would happen. But the way that we help and support each other through that is really what matters. And when I go back every time to go in the cabinet to check the dates on things and to rotate food, to add stuff in, it's so much more stuff in the donation boxes. And I'm like, we're never going to run out. And hopefully that's the point. We can keep this going forever. When I retire from James River, I hope that it's still going. And on Monday was my birthday, and so I went on Facebook. A lot of my friends typically we'll meet up for lunch or whatever. So I said, well, I'm not going anywhere, for my birthday. I'm going to be at home. But if you guys want to donate birthday dollars to me, $1 or $2 or whatever, I'll donate everything to the pantry. So as of this morning, I was telling Shari earlier, there was $75. And then I woke up, my trainer from the gym donated money. It was $95. And then I get to work and I told my partner, I said, it was $95 on my Cash App this morning for our pantry. He says, well, you know what? I'm going to take you over $100. And he gave me $10. Oh. So right now we're at $105. Wow. And I mean, it's just been an amazing thing. And for me, it's just about, we did this, James River, like I said, we always do things differently, but we always take care of each other. We're a family out there, and just the fact that Mr. Martin and Mr. Stevens was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Okay. It wasn't like I went to them and asked them to be able to do something that was strange. We always do stuff like that, and so it's just been a wonderful thing that, people have been able to use, and, different staff come and said, thank you, they really appreciate it. They've really been able to benefit from it. And so it's an amazing thing.
Well, and I remember you said to me that at first you told folks, look, if you're at all shy about getting something, I'll get it for you.
That's our last rule, yep. Myself and Mr. Shaw. One of the rules, if you don't want to go and get it, come to myself or Mr. Shaw, and we'll go in and get it, because we do have cameras at James River. It's a detention center. And, that was one of the concerns I brought up to Mr. Stevens. I said, well, I don't want people to feel like we're watching them. If they want something, they should be able to go and get it. And then, but, like I said, I'll go and get it for you. Or Mr. Shaw will go and get it for you. But that hasn't been an issue at all. And what we're very pleased about. I think that we don't know that some people have a lot of pride, and if they're going through things, they don't always want to share with us, what they're going through. And just to know that you don't have to share with us. This is, you don't have to share with us with what you're going through, but to be able to know that we're supporting you, that means a lot.
Yeah. Well, I just am so humbled by that idea and by the response you all got.
It's been amazing.
And think about these past two stories, a Hope Garden at a landfill, a food pantry in a detention center. You've taken at face value, people might have a perception of what happens in there, but what you all have created is a heart in a building that people perceive it doesn't have a heart. And that's powerful. You both thought of ideas that don't necessarily impact you, but impact others, and you inspiring everyone around you. That's really powerful.